The state gives Framingham conditional compliance for the MBTA Communities Act. The planning board hears details on a proposed golf course in the 990 area, and the ribbon is cut at Ellie Mental Health's new Framingham facility. I'm Brendan Fitzpatrick, and this is The Frame, Framingham News in Focus. Hi, and welcome to The Frame, an initiative of Access Framingham. We begin with news that broke Wednesday night as Framingham has received conditional compliance with the MBTA Communities Act from the state. The law, which mandates that cities and towns with T service have to provide at least one by-right multifamily housing district in its zoning, has been the topic of many discussions between local leaders and residents as Framingham's compliance status came into question at the turn of the new year. Last month, Mayor Charlie Sositsky submitted a request for compliance to the Massachusetts Executive Office of Housing and Livable Communities. The land in question was the pre-existing Central Business District in the downtown area, a spot that was approved back in 2015 by town meeting members. Sositsky stated his belief in December that more housing should be developed across Framingham, but added that the submission of the CB district for consideration was made with taxpayers in mind, as municipalities out of compliance with the zoning law could potentially lose state sources of funding for various projects or be sued by the Attorney General's office. The compliance is under a few conditions. Framingham has to submit an economic feasibility analysis to the state by July 21st. Massachusetts officials may establish a system to monitor the city's compliance in the future, and permitting going forward is not to result in reduced multifamily unit capacity within the CB district. In a statement released Wednesday night, Sositsky said, quote, "I have received feedback from residents south of Route 9 expressing a desire for amendments to the Central Business District zoning law, which was approved by town meeting. I will direct my administration to collaborate with the City Council and the Planning Board to make adjustments to the CB district without affecting our compliance with the MBTA Communities Act," end quote. The mayor added that the City Council may still carry out their meeting on the zoning law that was originally planned for February 4th. A new golf course in the 990 area has been proposed to the Framingham Planning Board. The group convened last Thursday, January 16th, to hear a presentation from the Sherborne-based applicant WedgeLinks LLC. Their pitch is for a 9-hole walkable course that would span roughly 10 acres of land that is almost entirely wooded right now. It would cover a portion of the approximately 31-acre Staples property on Crossing Boulevard, with the proposal including room for landscape and utility improvements, 39 additional parking spaces, and eventually a clubhouse with a restaurant and a pro shop. Michael Mahoney of WedgeLinks said attainability and thoughtfulness were cornerstones of this idea's development.
WedgeLinks really was built to bring that to communities, to make these smaller footprint, smaller impact golf courses available to the public and allow play that would really engage people on a much smaller time frame, a more reasonable amount of money, and be more accessible.
WedgeLinks is seeking a number of permits from the city, including permission to conduct a site plan review, land disturbance, and stormwater management. Planning Board Chair Christina Johnson said the idea would be a proper way to activate the 990 area, a sentiment that was echoed by Sarkis Sarkeesian, Framingham's Director of Planning and Community Development.
I'm really excited about this because it's also going to reinforce that office park. To reinforce this office park, it needs activity, it needs amenities.
The Planning Board has yet to give final approval to that WedgeLinks project, as more aspects have to be considered down the line. More details on these top stories can be found on our New Look website, www.theframe.news. It's your home for additional articles, feature pieces from across the city, and a calendar full of upcoming community events. Subscribe to our email newsletter to ensure that you never miss an update from us. Find us on social media as well. @FrameNews_ is our handle on both Instagram and X. Subscribe to Access Framingham's YouTube channel and hit the bell icon to be notified whenever we upload a new episode of The Frame. Search for The Frame on Facebook as well. Local leaders and residents gathered at the Framingham Sheraton this past Monday morning to commemorate Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. January 20th marked MLK Day here in the United States as the Greater Framingham Community Church hosted their 38th annual celebration of the civil rights leader's life and work. The event was themed to a quote from Martin Luther King: "We must accept finite disappointment, but never lose infinite hope."
And it's a recognition, the fact is that in moments like this, we must pause to celebrate, renew our commitment, and yes, to believe in making this dream to come true.
Retired Army Colonel, author, filmmaker, and motivational speaker Dr. Eurydice Stanley was the keynote speaker for Monday's ceremony. In an interview with AFTV, she called Dr. King one of her personal heroes. She added that the theme for this year's event was an especially important one for the current times.
So it's just going to be very important for us to rally around one another and to ensure that our needs are conveyed, because silence is agreement and apathy is not going to help us at all.
Mayor Sisitsky will give his annual State of the City address at the Memorial Building this upcoming Monday, the 27th. Members of the public are invited to join municipal officials at Nevins Hall for the event, which will begin at 7 p.m. As the first few weeks of the new year continue, Sisitsky is expected to speak about the state of infrastructure, education, and other local topics. It's primed to be a major year for Sisitsky, as 2025 marks a mayoral election year here in Framingham. The Metro West Daily News has reported that Sisitsky will run for re-election this fall, though another candidate has filed paperwork with the state for the position, former school committee member Jeff Epstein. He submitted documents to the Massachusetts Office of Campaign and Political Finance last Thursday, the 16th, to create a candidates committee. Official nomination papers for elected positions within Framingham don't open until May 30th. A pair of municipal notes for you now. First, the Framingham Fire Department has received a $35,000 grant from the state. The Department of Fire Services, as well as the Executive Office of Public Safety and Security, made the funding available during the current fiscal year. With the money, the department will be acquiring additional safety equipment for local firefighters. Also, city officials are seeking input for a proposed splash pad at Cushing Memorial Park. Members of the community are encouraged to provide their thoughts and ask any questions they may have during a meeting at Loring Arena's second floor on Thursday, January 30th. The event will start at 6 p.m. and child supervision will be provided. Anyone interested in attending is advised to reach out to the Parks and Rec Department by Tuesday, the 28th. And finally, a preview of this week's Frame by Frame segment. Ellie Mental Health, a nationwide collection of clinics, recently opened a new facility in Framingham. A ribbon-cutting ceremony at their Speen Street site was held last week. We spoke with owners and Framingham residents Jen and Doug Collins, along with directors at the clinic, to learn more about the service they provide to the community, as well as the importance of mental health treatment and advocacy.
The general mission about destigmatizing mental health, and I think that separates us, and I think that the people that work with us, our staff, truly believe it. So I think we're here to make a difference.
There was a time when we didn't talk about mental health at all. And now we talk about it, people post about it, vlog about it. We're at a great time where people are more open to have some of those conversations. When we talk about demystifying mental health, that's a big part of what we're doing, and it lends itself to that as well.
As always, that full Frame by Frame segment can be found online. Log on to our website, theframe.news, or head over to Access Framingham's channel on YouTube to see it in its entirety. That's all for this week's Framingham News in Focus. For the entire Frame team, thanks for watching. My name is Brendan Fitzpatrick. We'll talk to you next week. Take care.